men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through November at Landmark Implement, choose from a 12-month waiver on model year 2023 through 2025. John Deere 6 through 9 series tractors, sprayers, and combines. Or lock in at 2.9 fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.35% for another 36 months. As you're planning ahead for next year's crop, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for details or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is a presentation of Nebraska High School football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are powered by Edward Stone, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, Doane University, Hamilton Telecommunications, Jimmy John's, Nebraska Army National Guard, Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
Welcome into beautiful Memorial Stadium on a crisp Monday morning as we get ready to kick off the 2025 Class D1 State Football Championship here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert here from Memorial Stadium, coming to you live from the 6th floor on the west side of one of the epicenters of college football. However, today and tomorrow, we crown 6 different high school football programs as state champions of the 2025 season. First up, here in just a little under 10 minutes of time, a matchup between 2 top 5 seeds with the Crofton Warriors doing battle against the Sandy Creek Cougars. Crofton comes in with a record of 10-2, looking for their first state championship in school history, while on the other sideline, Sandy Creek, the Cougars, try to secure their second straight Class D1 championship title after defeating Stanton in 2024 to snag the first ever crown in school history. It's a good matchup today. Once again, just to remind you of the schedule over the next couple of days, and we appreciate AD and Bach holding down the fort from the 9 to 10 o'clock hour back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, just about 2 blocks south of where I'm at here at Memorial Stadium. But once again, today, Class D1 at 10:15, Class D2 at 2:15, and then the nightcap later on this evening at 7:15 p.m. between Waverly and Gretna East in the Class B state championship matchup. Then tomorrow we kind of do the same thing, just in Class C and then Class A, obviously. Class C1 gets us going about 10:15 a.m., Class C2 at 2:15, and then Class A's matchup at 7:15 p.m. tomorrow, as we kind of put a bow on what's been a crazy, exciting, real interesting high school football season, especially in the higher classes. But here in this one, the Crofton Warriors going up against the Sandy Creek Cougars as we find out who's going to take home the Class D1 crown here in 2025. Let's start first for the 10-2 overall, the Crofton Warriors. They've never won a state championship. They've been runner-up twice, but not since 2003 in C2 when they lost to Cambridge in the final. And then in 2016 in Class C2 also, they fell to Wilbur Claytonia, got shut out the last time that they were here in Memorial Stadium back in 2016. Today, Crofton, 10-2 overall. They're on a win streak that's dating back to September 26th. There are 2 games that they've dropped. Why Not, who we're going to see in the afternoon game here today in the Class D2 championship. Why Not? And then they lost to Bloomfield later on in the season in week 4 of the campaign. But some dominating wins in there against Kimball, against Boyd County, against Niobrara and Verdigris. And then they come in today after knocking off Shelby Rising City just last week. Some guys that you need to know for the Crofton Warriors, Tyson Jackson. He leads the offense. He has rushed for 2,297 yards with an average of 9.5 yards per carry. And how about this, 50 rushing touchdowns on the campaign. Quarterback Preston Foxhoven, 67% completion percentage on the season, 1,200 passing yards, 17 touchdowns to just 3 INTs for the Crofton Warriors. On the other sideline, the Sandy Creek Cougars, led by head coach Andrew Kuda. He's 11-1 here in 2025. The Sandy Creek Cougars, 11-1. They lost to Shelby Rising City back in Game 2. They come into this one today riding a 10-game winning streak. They lost to Shelby Rising City 32-24 back in the second week of the season. A couple of names you need to know. Sophomore quarterback Cam Seeley has accounted 7 total touchdowns in Sandy Creek's semifinal win last week against Plainview. But other than that, Cam Seeley, 71% completion percentage on the season, 2,167 passing yards with 32 touchdown passes and 6 INTs. Seeley also has rushed for over 1,500 yards this season with 33 touchdowns scored on the ground by the Sandy Creek Cougars quarterback. In the backfield, though, also, you need to know with the sophomore quarterback, Cam Seeley, Caden Schmidt, 41 catches, 447 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns to go to his stat line this season. This should be a real good one between the Sandy Creek Cougars and the Crofton Warriors as we crown a Class D1 state champion. Once again, Nick Sainert with you, coming at you live from Memorial Stadium, a rather emptier Memorial Stadium than maybe we're used to on a crispy fall morning here in Lincoln. 51 degrees is where we currently stand. It feels like 48 degrees here in the capital city. The wind blowing a nice, comfortable pace, about 7 miles an hour through the north end zone here at the stadium. When we come back, we will preview once again Sandy Creek. They won the toss. They elected to defer. So we will see the Crofton Warriors offense on the field first in a field that's a little more condensed than maybe we're used to seeing. Instead of 100 yards goal line to goal line, 80 yards goal line to goal line. And so the proper field adjustments have been made here at Memorial Stadium with those red end zones and the big N in the middle. Once again, Nick Sainert with you. Jay Foreman will join me for the afternoon and the nightcap here from Memorial Stadium, as we will have Class D2 action coming your way at 2:15, and then Class B's matchup at 7:15 p.m. We'll step aside, come back with kickoff from our first of 6 state championship games here in just a moment on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in Memorial Stadium up here, 6th floor of Nebraska's home site. Is Nick Sainert with you here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Appreciate Jake Bachhoven back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, pushing all the buttons, making sure we stay connected here. Just a couple blocks away from the mothership over there at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln. We come to you from the D1 state championship matchup, the Sandy Creek Cougars against the Crofton Warriors, as we are just about 60 seconds away from lining things up and kicking this one off, as they're watching a hype video go off on the big screen and all the surrounding screens here at Memorial Stadium. You might be able to hear it behind me as well. The Crofton Warriors will start on offense, and we will see Tyson Jackson on the field first, a name that we're probably going to say ad nauseum here this morning, as he's rushed for over 2,200 yards. He needs 3 more yards to eclipse the 2,300-yard mark on the season just on the ground. He already has 50 rushing touchdowns this season as well, and quarterback Preston Foxhoven completed over 67% of his passes this year for 1,200-plus yards, 17 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. Sandy Creek's going to throw the ball just a little bit more than the Crofton Warriors, but when you have a guy like Tyson Jackson, you don't necessarily need to throw it around the yard that much. And so we are getting ready. Crofton will be in their white uniforms, white tops, maroon pants, white helmets with the Crofton logo on each side of the skull, with the Sandy Creek Cougars, white helmets with the red accents there, red jerseys, white pants as well. And we are ready to go. Crofton evades the huddle, and Sandy Creek's getting ready to do the same thing here at Memorial Stadium as we will kick things off. Once again, in Class D action, just 8-man football, and so not 11 guys out there, 8-man football. The field's distant or end-to-end 80 yards instead of the traditional 100 yards, and they're also a little more narrower than they would be for an 11-man game. So when you get out in space, there's not as much room to do so on the perimeter with 8-man games rather than 11-man. So here we go. We're ready to go here from Memorial Stadium on a breezy, chilly fall Monday morning here to play the Class D1 state championship matchup. Sandy Creek and the Crofton Warriors. For Sandy Creek, they have it teed up, and they will kick towards the north end zone here at Memorial Stadium, and we are underway. So that one will go into the end zone over the head of the return man, and that is the first chance now we will get to see at this Crofton Warriors offense. 10-2 on the campaign. They lost to Wynot and Bloomfield back earlier in the season. They dropped their first game. How about this? And I know there's a little higher scoring matchups in Class D action, but 78-76 to Wynot, a team that we will see in the Class D2 state championship game here in this afternoon. And then they also lost to Bloomfield, did the Crofton Warriors in the fourth game of the season. They've won every game since then, coming in with this 10-2 record. So they'll line up I formation. And Foxhoven, the quarterback for the Crofton Warriors, under center. Tyson Jackson lines up behind him. He takes the toss and immediately gets stuffed as the line of scrimmage gets crowded up. And nice tackle made on the play by a trio of Sandy Creek defenders. Alston Clark is the guy you need to know on this Sandy Creek defense. He, on the season, leads the team with 128 total tackles. And so Alston Clark, the 6'1", 185-pound senior, is kind of the linebacker to watch on defense for the Cougars. A shotgun snap, Foxhoven's going to keep it himself and immediately get tackled as he tried to power run it to the left side, and he gets tackled about 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. A gain of 1 on the play brings up 3rd down and 9, and a big opportunity here for Sandy Creek in the early going to get off the field and force a 3 and out, as it's 3rd down and long for Foxhoven and the Crofton Warriors offense. They trickle towards the south end zone here at Memorial Stadium. Opening drive of the D1 state championship matchup. One lone back under center is Foxhoven. He turns, fakes the handoff to Jackson, looking right, now steps up in the pocket, throws it decisively over the middle, but it's going to be out of reach for the intended receiver. And in coverage there for Sandy Creek was Cam Seeley, who's going to double as the quarterback today. The intending receiver on the play for Crofton was number 15, Jackson Lindy, a senior, 6'3", 175 pounds. It falls incomplete. So 4th down and 9 coming up for the Crofton offense. And so we will see what they decide to do here on 4th down and 9 in the early goings from the 16-yard line of the Warriors. Nobody's back deep. They're going to go ahead and kick it off with Foxhoven. Sandy Creek did not put a man back to return this punt, and now they're going to pay the price for it, as this punt will take a very friendly Crofton bounce inside the 10-yard line and down at the 9.5-yard line. And so just like that, with 10:44 to go in the first quarter, Sandy Creek's defense forces a 3 and out, and they will take over now inside their 10-yard line. 1st and 10 heading north here at Memorial Stadium. 10:44 still scoreless between Crofton and Sandy Creek here from the sixth floor of the west side of Memorial Stadium here in Lincoln. Sandy Creek comes out. We'll tell you about their offense in just a moment. Their quarterback is number 3, the sophomore, Cam Seeley. And immediately he'll line up in shotgun formation. But before we can do that, we have a timeout on the field. And I believe it is for media. So we will step aside as well. 10:44 to go in the first quarter. Crofton and Sandy Creek. Sandy Creek takes over on offense for the first time in this morning's game when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
With
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sander back with you from Memorial Stadium, Class D1 state championship game as Sandy Creek takes over on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. Seeley's going to be the quarterback. He's lined up in the shotgun formation with number 8, Caden Schmidt, lined up to his left hip here on 1st and 10. The first snap on offense for Sandy Creek's going to be a pass as Seeley drops back, 3-step drop. Now he'll rush to the right side. He'll have to try to evade pressure, does so before he's ushered out of bounds by Tyson Jackson just past the 10-yard line. Gain of 2 on 1st down, makes it 2nd down and 8 for the Sandy Creek offense. And so Sandy Creek, as I mentioned, going to throw it a little bit more than maybe what we see from Crofton here in this morning's matchup. And on the first play of their offensive drive, they look to pass on that 1st down play. Had to do a quarterback scramble instead. Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Now on 2nd down, fakes the handoff. Seeley's going to keep it himself. Has a hole up the right side just outside the hash marks here on the field and get close to that 1st down marker. I believe they're going to give him the 1st down, and so move the chains as Cameron Seeley now with 2 carries and 10 yards on the day makes it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line of the Sandy Creek Cougars here on this condensed field at Memorial Stadium. So 1st and 10 with 10:20 to go in the opening quarter. The Cougars defended well in that opening drive defensively. They forced Crofton to go 3 and out and forced a punt just a couple of plays into this one. Now on 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, Seeley back to pass, looking, still surveying, rushes to his right side. Great job by the defensive end shutting down the edge, and Seeley's just going to have to get rid of this one. They're going to say that there was a receiver in the area that was Wes Biltoff, but nice job defensively by the Crofton Warriors defense, and specifically number 57, Trey Tramp, as he was able to kind of shut down the edge on the left side there as Seeley rolled to his right and was unable to kind of just scramble for a couple of yards, similar to what we saw on that initial 1st down play. And so 2nd down and 10 now coming up from the 20-yard line of the Sandy Creek Cougars. Empty shotgun set. Seeley is all by himself, 4 yards behind the center. 3 wideouts to the right side, 4 down linemen here in the 8-man football matchup. And on the right side, quarterback keeper. Seeley has a hole on the right side just outside the hash marks, in between the numbers and the hashes, and he kind of dives forward for a gain of 11. Cameron Seeley having his way and some success on the ground here early on. It's going to be another 1st down after another 12-yard gain to make it 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of the Cougars. Sandy Creek now huddled up about 9 yards behind where the ball is set up at the 32-yard line. Close to the end here at midfield at Memorial Stadium. Empty shotgun set once again. 3 wideouts to the right side. Seeley takes the snap, claps his hands, and he's looking to pass. Pump fakes, looking downfield, going to try to throw this one as he now just lobs it out of bounds, out of reach. They had a receiver downfield in one-on-one coverage who was number 6 for the Sandy Creek offense, or rather, Alston Clark was deep for the Sandy Creek offense, but instead, Seeley decided just to throw this one out of bounds and live to fight another day, as it's going to be 2nd down and 10 from the 32-yard line. No score here, 9:01 to play in the 1st quarter here at Memorial Stadium. The Class D1 state championship game, as breaking the huddle, Sandy Creek with a pistol formation, 1 running back lined up directly behind Cameron Seeley. He turns, hands it off to the running back. The first conventional carry of the day is going to go for a nice gain up across the 35-yard line and down at the 37 for number 5, Wyatt Livgren, the sophomore running back. 5'11", 175 pounds is Wyatt Livgren, and he carries his first time today for 6 yards. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 from the 37-yard line. They got to get to the 39-yard line of Crofton if they want to keep this drive alive. As Seeley breaks the huddle, running back to his left side is going to be number 8, Caden Schmidt, 2 wideouts far side, on the far side of the field, as 4 down linemen for the Crofton defense. Shotgun set. They turn, fake the handoff. Seeley's going to keep it, cuts up the field, gets across midfield, and he's going to be tackled near that 1st down line to gain. The far sideline official is saying that Seeley got enough for the 1st down line, and they did. The head referee, Jeff Merrill, signals 1st down, and Sandy Creek will keep their drive alive. So with 8:18 to go in the first quarter, another first down, and Sandy Creek just methodically punching this one down the field. A drive that started inside their own 10-yard line after a terrific Crofton punt into the wind. Took a couple of friendly hops for the Cougars, but now the Crofton defense trying to bow up. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line of Crofton. Sandy Creek on offense. They motion a running back out left side. Back to pass Seeley. He'll throw this one down the middle of the field, and it is almost hauled in with one hand by number 12. That is Wes Biltoff, the intended receiver. He was doing battle downfield with one other guy in coverage in number 9 of the Crofton Cougars, Grant Jordan. But a nice job by Jordan getting enough pressure on Biltoff, the intended receiver, to force that one incomplete. It was just barely overthrown to Biltoff by Sealing, but nonetheless, it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. And I think if you're Sandy Creek there and head coach Andrew Kuda, you're sitting there saying that was a time for us to maybe take a shot. You're on the opponent's side of midfield. 1st and 10. Now here it is, 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Option play to the right side. Seeley's going to keep it and have a hole up the middle of the field across the 30. And he's tackled near that line to gain again as Seeley goes for another 9.5, maybe 10 yards. They're going to mark him slightly short. And so it'll be about 3rd down and inches, if that, here with 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of action. So that was a traditional little speed option to the right side. Caden Schmidt was running a little bit wider on that right side. The defensive end had to make a decision. He decided to go with Schmidt, the running back, and so Seeley just cut it upfield and was able to take it for 9.5 yards. 3rd down and short here from the 38-yard line. They got to get to the 37 if they want to keep this drive alive. Seeley keeps it himself. Quarterback power has some holes, tries to plant his foot, cuts back upfield, and he'll have plenty of room for the first down across the 20-yard line inside the 17-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Sandy Creek as they keep on moving down the field. Sandy Creek, they won the title last year, their first state championship in school history came last year in this game. They defeated Stanton 44-42. Crofton on the other side looking for their first state championship in school history. First time for Crofton that they've been in a state championship game since 2016. They lost to Wilbur Claytonia that day. Now a jet toss as the receiver rushes left side. A short gain on 1st down. Maybe got 3 up to the 14-yard line or so. They're going to give him a friendly extra yard. 13-yard lines where they spot it. Gain of 4 on the play. Makes it 2nd down and 6 with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter of action here. Sandy Creek and Crofton, Class D1 state championship. Nick Sainert coming at you live from Memorial Stadium as Jake Bachhoven's back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. So after 4 yards on 1st down, Sandy Creek breaks the huddle. They're going to face it 2nd down and 6 from the 13-yard line of Crofton, trying to get the first points in this one on their opening offensive possession. Seeley cuts up field, thought about passing, decides to keep it himself. We're going to have a late penalty flag thrown in there as Seeley is tackled inside the 5 and down at the 3. And I would not be surprised if this is a face mask against the Crofton Crofton Warriors, as Sandy Creek continues to chug down the field. Our head referee is Jeff Merrill. He signals that it's going to be a penalty on the defense. And so with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter, we're going to have our first words from the referee. It is going to be a face mask on the defense. So Crofton, half the distance to the goal. It doesn't really do a whole lot different as instead of at the 3-yard line, it's going to be at the 1.5-yard line. It was a first down nonetheless, so 1st and goal from just outside the 1-yard line. Cam Seeley, the quarterback, has been the workhorse here on the opening possession of the game. 2 wide receivers are flexed as extra blockers on the right side of the line. They're going to toss it left side. Here's Schmidt trying to lunge forward. Did he get there? He did not. He got stopped about a half a yard shy of the goal line. And so Sandy Creek will line up and do it again. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. That ball was marked initially 1st and goal at the 1.5-yard line. Now it's 2nd and goal from inside the 1. And so 2nd down and goal, 5:18 to play in the first quarter. 0-0 your score between Crofton and Sandy Creek. But Sandy Creek, the Cougars, are on the doorstep. As it's empty shotgun set, same formation. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Cam Seeley keeper here. He's been kind of the lead rusher. He does, he dives, and he scores. Touchdown, Sandy Creek, as Seeley took the shotgun snap. They had two wideouts kind of flexed on that right side of that line as extra blockers. He just followed his big guys. Didn't need to go far. Just a half a yard is officially what the distance was. It's a touchdown for Sandy Creek, and they lead it 6-0. Now they will line up, and they will go for a conversion here as Seeley, instead of kicking the traditional PAT, here is Cam Seeley in the shotgun. Same formation with those two wideouts just out to the right side. Seeley claps his hands, does so again, takes the snap. Seeley looking to pass, three-step drop, evades pressure, throws left side, has a receiver open, and the conversion is good as it is now 8-0 with exactly 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter as Sandy Creek's section on the east side of the stadium releases the red balloons. And so if you're driving along Antelope, driving downtown, you're going to see some red balloons start to evade Memorial Stadium as they go up into the atmosphere. But Sandy Creek leads at 8-0 with exactly 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So Sandy Creek, who started their drive inside their 10-yard line after forcing a Crofton punt, takes over. They go 6 minutes of game time off the clock, and they travel 70 yards to punch it in for the first score in the D1 title game. They lead it 8-0 over Crofton, and they will kick this one through the end zone for a touchback as Jace Panning was the return man for Crofton, who let it sail over his head. But for Crofton, on their initial drive of the game a few moments ago, which feels like, it was 7 minutes of game time ago, but now it feels like it's been even longer than that. You have it to where if you're Crofton, Preston Foxhoven, the quarterback, also Tyson Jackson, the running back, got to figure out some sort of success on the ground. 8-0 is your score as Crofton heads back out onto the field, and they'll line up in the traditional I formation with Foxhoven under center. Jackson is the running back. There's a fullback out there as well. Toss right up the middle, and he gets stuffed, but a nice job by Jackson of just falling forward for a gain of 3 yards up to the 18-yard line. The touchbacks here with a condensed field plus plates the ball at the 15-yard line, just for context and knowledge purposes. And so it is going to be second down now and 7 from the 18-yard line. Under center is Foxhoven. He's back to pass. Looking. He throws it downfield, has a receiver in space, and it goes through the breadbasket of Panning as Jace Panning, the senior wide receiver and running back, had some space. He beat his defender for Sandy Creek, as that was number 12 for the Cougars, Wes Biltoff, in coverage. He got beat up the far sideline. And as Jace Panning tried to extend the arms and catch it in the breadbasket, and it went right through his lap. And so a good ball there by Foxhoven, but now you turn and you look at that scoreboard, and it's 3rd and 7 for the Crofton Warriors offense. Shotgun snap, hands it off. Jackson cuts up field, tries to lower the shoulder. He's going to get upended shy of the line to gain across the 20-yard line. I believe he's going to be about 2 yards shy of that first down marker, and so a gain of 5 on 3rd down, and now decision time for the Crofton sideline. The 4th down and 2 from the 23-yard line officially. 8-0 Sandy Creek with 4:01 remaining in the opening quarter of the Class D1 title game. Sandy Creek does not have anybody back deep to field the punt. Foxhoven does double as the punter, and he's going to boot this one away. He had a really nice punt last time that bounced all the way inside the 10-yard line. This one not as good, but it does the job as it'll bounce at the 20 and be down by Panning for Crofton. And so just like that, Sandy Creek yet to allow a first down defensively on the Crofton offense, and they have to punt this one away. And so Sandy Creek, who had all the momentum, still does to that fact, now will take over on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line here at Memorial Stadium. Sandy Creek, once again, winners of the 2024 D1 state championship game. Crofton on the other side looking for their first title in school history. They've been here before in 03 in the Class C2 title game, and then 2016 they also lost the Class C2 title game. Shotgun formation here as Sandy Creek back to pass. He throws it downfield, has a receiver. It's hauled in. There it is, number 9, Logan Tomke. He gets tackled inside the 20 at the 14-yard line as a great pass from Cam Seeley all the way downfield up the right sideline to Logan Tomke. The junior tight end gets open in space. He beat his man in coverage, Jace Panning. They've continuously picked on Panning. Say that 5 times fast. Picked on Panning on that far sideline, and Sandy Creek, who dominated their first drive on the ground, will come out on 1st and 10, and they throw it into enemy territory. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line of Crofton as Sandy Creek tries to extend their 8-0 lead already. Shotgun formation. They turn, hand it off. Here's the handoff to Schmidt. He bounces it left side, spins off a would-be tackler. Inside the 10 goes Caden Schmidt, and he's tackled at the 9. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 officially from the 9-yard line of Crofton. We're inside 3 minutes to go in the first quarter of action here in the Class D1 state championship game. So Sealing breaks the huddle, and they come back out in the formation that we saw them score on in the earlier going. As empty shotgun, 2 tight ends lined up right side. They reverse it now. Here's Tomke. Tomke on the right side. He's in. Touchdown, Sandy Creek, as they extend their lead with 2:27. It was an initial toss to Tomke. Then it was tossed again on the reverse to Wes Biltoff. And Biltoff scores for Sandy Creek on the far sidelines pylon. And with 2:27 remaining, Sandy Creek extends their lead to 14. It's 14-0 as they'll stay on for another 2-point conversion. And so once again, Sandy Creek on offense, rolling on all cylinders. As here they go, they toss it right side. Here's Schmidt. He has an opening, and he will trot in for the 2-point conversion. And with 2:27 to go in the first quarter, it is 16-0. Sandy Creek on top of Crofton. We'll go ahead and keep it right here while we have a break in the action. We want to thank our sponsors for allowing high school sports to be broadcasted here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Thanks to, in part, Edward Stone, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, Doane University, Hamilton Telecommunications, Jimmy John's, the Nebraska Army National Guard, the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, and last but certainly not least, our friends over at Play It Again Sports. So once again, Nick Sainert coming at you live from Memorial Stadium in the late stages of the first quarter. Sandy Creek leads at 16-0 here in the D1 title game. Sandy Creek won it in 2024. Crofton looking for their first ever in school history here today. As with 2:27 to go in the first period, Crofton's got to find something going on offense. But once again, here D1, the first game of the day. D2 will be our second game of the day. That one's to kick off shortly after 2 p.m. here at Memorial Stadium. Jay Foreman will join me for that one and for the nightcap at 7:15 p.m. That's the Class B title game between Waverly and Gretna East. Should be fun seeing the Waverly Vikings, the number 1 seed in Class B, try to go for the crown here this evening. As this one's kicked off, with the wind pushing behind it, it'll trickle into the end zone for a touchback. So bring it out to the 15-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 once again for the Crofton offense, as this will be their 3rd offensive possession of the game so far. But they look up at the scoreboard, and it's 16-0 in favor of Sandy Creek. So from the 15-yard line of Crofton, it'll be 1st and 10. And Sandy Creek's done a good job of just kind of plugging the middle. They've tried, Crofton tried to use their workhorse, Tyson Jackson, but nonetheless, not a lot going for Tyson Jackson. Just his longest run of the day so far is 6 yards. He's lined up in the I formation. They toss it once again to Jackson, and there's just not a whole lot of running room up the middle for Jackson to work with. His helmet got spun around, and I'm seeing if they're going to make him come out of the game. It doesn't appear so. And so he did not lose his helmet entirely, but I think if you're that Crofton sideline, you're wondering why a face mask wasn't called there, because that helmet was ripped and turned around Tyson Jackson's head. It's a gain of 4 on first down to make it 2nd down and 6. They'll toss it left side. Here's Jackson again, trying to follow his blockers. Now he has an opening. Jackson across the 30, and he's down past the 30-yard line at the 31 for a first down for Crofton. So the first time that we've seen Tyson Jackson really be able to do something on the ground, where he's been incredible this year. Jackson, 2,297 rushing yards this season, has 50 rushing touchdowns. He's obviously on this day eclipsed the 2,300-yard mark on the season, as they'll fake the handoff, looking downfield. Foxhoven back to pass, has a receiver in space, and outstretched arms of number 15, Jackson Lindy, unable to haul it in as he dove full extension on the near sideline. In coverage was Cam Seeley, the quarterback and DB for Sandy Creek. And so 1:24 is on the clock here in the first quarter. It's 16-0 Sandy Creek on top of Crofton. Crofton working 2nd down and 10 from their own 30-yard line. These two teams did not play each other in the regular season. Crofton, who's on offense, coming in off of a 28-8 victory against Shelby Rising City in the semifinal. They have a receiver who wide open downfield, and Foxhoven overthrew him. Sandy Creek's defense completely lost track of Jackson Lyon, the intended receiver, and my goodness, that is a would-be touchdown that's not going on the board, because Foxhoven just overthrew the receiver down the seam. And with 1:19 to go in the first quarter, it's 3rd and 10. Crofton on offense at their own 30-yard line against the Sandy Creek defense. 2 wideouts near side, shotgun set, looking to pass Foxhoven. Foxhoven looking downfield. He's going to take a shot, trying to get it to his receiver downfield. It's hauled in. What a catch. Number 10, that's Jace Panning. Finally able to make a play. Foxhoven able to drop it in the bucket, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line as a nice post pattern down the field. Jace Panning, 45 yards on the reception, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 5 on a much-needed first down, just the 2nd first down for Crofton's offense on the day, and it's 1st and goal from the 5 with 60 seconds remaining in the first quarter. I formation, they turn, hand it off Jackson. Jackson tries to just barrel his way towards that goal line. We have a late penalty flag fly in. It's landed at the 1-yard line is where they mark the ball. A penalty marker sits at the 2-yard line. We'll see what Jeff Merrill, the referee, has to say. It's going to be a face mask against Sandy Creek. And so this is now the 2nd time that we've seen the defense. Previously, it was called against Crofton. Now, this time it's called against Sandy Creek. But we've seen 2 face masks get called inside the 3-yard line. Half the distance of the goal puts this one inside the 1-yard line at the half-yard line. And Crofton's offense finally on the doorstep. As Foxhoven is under center, Jackson's lined up behind him. Now Jackson switches to under center. Jackson takes the handoff, and he barrels forward for a touchdown. Crofton finally on the board with 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. So Crofton finally able to break into the scoring column as they trail it 16-6 now with 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. So Crofton will keep the offense on the field. They'll go for 2. Here is 3 wideouts to the near side. They motion a man even farther out. That's Jackson now. Quick pass up across the middle on a slant pattern. It's hauled in. The 2-point conversion is good, and Crofton's right back in this one. 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's 16-8. Sandy Creek leads now by 8 points here in the late stages of period number 1. And so later today, once again, as we have a break in the action, we'll keep it right here. But later today, 2:15 is the D2 title game between St. Mary's and Why Not. And so those two teams do battle for the Class D2 crown, as St. Mary's looking for their first state title since 2002. Why Not has never won a title. And so in these first two games, there's a chance here for at least one of the teams on the other side, one of the sidelines, to accomplish their first ever crown. But with 43 seconds to go in the first quarter, it's 16-8. Sandy Creek on top of Crofton. But Crofton finally able to crack the scoring column thanks to, in large part, a 45-yard pass that was hauled in from the right arm of Foxhoven to Jace Panning. And so that got Crofton just outside the goal line, first and goal from the 5, and then back-to-back Tyson Jackson carries with the additional help of a face mask penalty called against Sandy Creek, put it half the distance to the goal line, and it took one sneak, I should say, with Tyson Jackson to barrel his way over that goal line for a touchdown. So we are ready to go, pick up action once again. Number 71, Ty Nielsen, to kick things off for the Cougars, as he'll boot this one away. It's a low line drive kick fielded by the return man at the 6-yard line, and we're in business here on the left side. And slipping on the turf was number 13, Wyatt Hemberger. And Hemberger kind of goes down awkwardly, but looks to be okay as he jogs off the field just shy of the 20-yard line, tackled down at the 18 of Sandy Creek. 12 yards on the return from the now 18-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Sandy Creek's offense. 38 seconds shows on the game clock here remaining in the first quarter. It'll be a pistol formation, one wide out to the far side. Tight end lined up on the right side of that offensive line. They turn, hand it off. Caden Schmidt on the carry, goes nowhere. Tackle made on the play by an energetic Crofton front 7. Tackled down on that time by number 20, Trevor Allen. And so a nice job by Allen, able to make a stop there for the Crofton Warriors. So Sandy Creek loses 1 yard on first down, makes it 2nd down and 11. It looked like on that play, Seeley, the quarterback for Sandy Creek, didn't necessarily know whether or not he wanted to give it off or keep it himself. And a little bit of indecisiveness forced a little bit of an issue offensively for Sandy Creek. Now they're going to allow the game clock to expire. And so there we have it, your end of the first quarter score, 16-8, Sandy Creek. They're able to use their strong defense and their dominant running attack here to lead after 12 minutes of play. They lead at 16-8 here at Memorial Stadium. We'll come back in 60 seconds here in just a second on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Attention Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ball will be placed on the 17-yard line here. 2nd down and 11 in just a moment. Here as we get ready to start the second quarter of play. 16-8 is your score in favor of the Sandy Creek Cougars over the Crofton Warriors here. And once again, as you have it, Sandy Creek able to really be strong defensively in that first quarter. They forced consecutive 3-and-outs to start the game before they finally allowed the first points in this one. But with a fresh 12 minutes on the game clock, it is now 16-8, and it's second down and 11 from their own 17-yard line. They'll motion Caden Schmidt from right to left. Seeley's going to keep it himself, has a big hole up the middle, and he gets a lot of that needed yardage as it's going to be third down and about 1 after a 10-yard carry on the quarterback keeper, Cam Seeley. A nice job there navigating his way through the middle of that Crofton defense. 11:40 to go in the second quarter. 16-8 once again is your score here in the Class D1 state championship game. Nick Stannert coming at you live from Memorial Stadium here on the west side up in the press box. Now they'll break the huddle. Third down and short. We've seen them come out in the empty shotgun set a lot here. It's been often a quarterback keeper by Cam Seeley. Here on third and short, trips out to the right side. Seeley back to pass. And before we can continue this play, we have a penalty marker on the near side of the field. And I believe this one's going to be coming back 5 yards after a false start on Sandy Creek. So it'll be 11:16 to go in the second quarter. It's 16-8. Sandy Creek on top of Crofton here in Class D1 action. Third down and 6 after the penalty now for Sandy Creek's offense. And we talked about it, what a stop defensively did for Sandy Creek in that first quarter. Man, if you're Crofton, this is a big opportunity, big chance for you to get off the field. Trips out near side. Empty shotgun set. Third down and 6. 3 down linemen defensively. They bring pressure and Jackson off the edge. He flips it. Does Sealing up the field. Here across the line to gain. Across the 30 goes number 12, Wes Biltoff. And how about that? A lot of folks would compare Sealing to either, I suppose, Dylan Raiola or even then going on Patrick Mahomes with a little bit of a flip. He flipped it with his opposite hand to Biltoff, who squirted out into open space up the far sideline as Sealing almost was sacked by Tyson Jackson coming off the edge, but a nice job of improvising by Sealing as he makes it 1st and 10 from now the 30-yard line. Sandy Creek moves the chains, keeps the drive alive. Empty shotgun, back to pass, now rolling right side. He's going to run with it, does Sealing, trying to weave his way through the defense, and he gets about 3 yards up to the 43-yard line, or rather, 33-yard line. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half here in the Class D1 title game. They gave him 4 yards on the scramble, and so second down and 6 now for Cam Seeley and this Sandy Creek offense. Ball is placed at the 34-yard line. They got to get right at midfield at the 40. If you're just joining us, 8-man football, condensed fields lengthwise and widthwise. Fields are 80 yards long, goal line to goal line, so midfield is right at the 40. Here's a handoff on the right side. It's Schmidt with the carry. He gets close to midfield. He'll be about 3 yards shy, tackled down at the 37-yard line. And so they cut the line to gain in half there on second down and 6. It's going to make it third down and 3. The ball is on the 37-yard line of Sandy Creek still. Crofton working on trying to get some stops defensively. They have yet to stop the Sandy Creek offense. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Sandy Creek. And here they are on their third offensive possession of the game, trying to move the chains on third down and 3. Seeley in the pistol, now steps back. He's going to be lined up in shotgun with Schmidt to his right side. They'll keep it. Speed option right side, toss it to Schmidt. He gets tripped up, but is able to kind of fall forward enough across midfield and tackled at the 37-yard line of Crofton. Again, a 6 on third down and 3. Move the chains for Sandy Creek's offense, 1st and 10. 9:30 to go in the second quarter of action here. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of Crofton. Here in just a moment, as Sandy Creek breaks the huddle, they clap and they evade. Now they'll come to the line of scrimmage with the shotgun formation. Schmidt to the left hip of Seeley. Seeley is in the shotgun, puts his mouth guard in, claps his hands. 2 wideouts near side. Now they motion a man right to left. They give it to him on the jet toss. Great defensive play. Tyson Jackson gets to the backfield, tackles number 5, Wyatt Livgren, for a loss of, they're going to mark it officially, of 4 yards. All the way back at the 39-yard line of Sandy Creek. A loss of 4 on the play. and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 14. Tyson Jackson coming off from the near side all the way to the other side of the field. He almost got to Sealing a few moments ago, and what would have been a sack and a loss and forced a punt, but that time Jackson able to cash the paycheck as he tackles the ball carrier Livgren for a loss of 4. 2nd down and 14. Back to pass. Sealing looking right left side. Has a wide open Biltoff. 1st down and more. Across the 15. Inside the 5. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds before he trotted into the end zone. And they're going to say he was out of bounds at the 9-yard line. And so Biltoff again, Wes Biltoff, the 6'6 junior, able to make some noise in the pass catching game. It's going to be 1st and goal now from the 9-yard line for Sandy Creek. And so that's kind of been the name of the game and the theme of the matchup so far, where Crofton, on the few times they've been able to get Sandy Creek to kind of stay behind schedule, they've allowed an explosive play, and that has certainly hurt them so far in the first half of today's game. 1st and goal from the 9. Sealy keeps himself. Quarterback draw. Tries to lunge. Was his knee down? It was not. Touchdown. Sandy Creek. Cam Sealing from 9 yards out is able to extend the Sandy Creek lead, and they now have the advantage 22-8 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the second quarter. Cam Sealy was tripped up at the 3-yard line and then lunged forward. I didn't know if his right knee had banged with the turf before that ball crossed. The far sideline officials signaled touchdown, and so that is the official call. 22-8, they'll keep their offense on the field for a 2-point attempt. Sealing getting pressured, evades the pressure, flips it forward, and it's hauled in. The 2-point conversion is good. Cam Sealing, an unconventional pass, just kind of pushed it forward like you see it in the Dr. Pepper halftime contest in the Big 12 championship game, where it's more of a shove rather than a pass. That's exactly what Sealing did on that 2-point conversion attempt, and it's 24-8 with 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. So once again, Sandy Creek, a nice job. Both times that Crofton got them behind schedule, behind the chains, Sandy Creek was able to make an explosive play, largely in part and in thanks to Wes Biltoff on the catch and run up the far sideline as he cut across the middle. A great throw by Cam Sealy. He was able to deliver the mail. So Biltoff caught it, ran it upfield, stepped out of bounds at the 9-yard line, and then it took just 2 plays. And Sandy Creek is in for the score to extend their lead back to 16 at 24-8. So Crofton's offense going to have to score some points here today, as we've noticed that. Crofton hasn't necessarily had issue with that, though, this season. He's put up 60 against Hemingford a couple of weeks ago, put up 88 against Johnson Brock, put up 90 against Kimball. And so if you're Crofton here, you have plenty of time to work with, still 8 minutes to go. But once again, Sandy Creek, when they get in the red zone, they are 100% 3 for 3 today. They've also more than doubled the amount of plays that Crofton has run. A little bit of space here. Jace Panning hurdles a would-be tackler, gets across the 20-yard line and tackled down at the 22-yard line. A big statistic, a glaring statistic so far in this one. Sandy Creek 4 for 4 on 3rd down attempts. That's a massive, massive stat line. And also winning the time of possession game, understandably so, just because of the way that they've been able to control the football. It's been a real methodical approach for Sandy Creek. Not stalling, not waste of time. That's not what I'm inferring, but just a real methodical and strategic approach. Here's Foxhoven. Almost got sacked by the defender. A nice pass as he evaded the pressure. He throws it to number 15, Jackson Line, but unable to haul it in. It was, once again, kind of in the lap of the line, and that's the second one that we've seen a Crofton pass catcher just drop when it was in the breadbasket. Should be a catchable ball. And instead of 2nd down and 1, it's going to be 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 from the 22-yard line of Crofton. Down 24-6, option left side. They toss it to Jackson. Jackson tries to tiptoe that sideline. Doesn't get a whole lot of real estate, though, on that left sideline. He gets a gain of 2 for a 2-yard gain. 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Crofton Warriors. Crofton once again looking for their first state title as Sandy Creek trying to go back-to-back. 3rd down and 8 coming up, 7:52 to play in the second quarter. I formation, turn. They'll hand it off. Jackson. They run into each other, does the quarterback Foxhoven and Jackson. And because of that, they go nowhere. A gain of 1 on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 7. And Crofton, more than likely, is going to have to boot this one away. This time, for the first time today, Sandy Creek will put out a return man. Sandy Creek sends number 5, Wyatt Livgren, back deep to return. Foxhoven lines up as the punter. They do line Jackson up to his left side. It's a little bit of a pooch punt here for the Crofton offense. 2 wideouts far side, 1 to the near side, 3 down linemen offensively, 2 down linemen defensively. Foxhoven back. He is going to keep it. They're going to go for it on 4th down, and Foxhoven's taken down shy of the line to gain. A great job defensively. Number 58 for Sandy Creek. That is Jackson Gerdes. Nice job as he was able to wrap Foxhoven up around the waist, spin him around, and throw him down. And we've seen that look where Crofton will spread out the field and then they just kind of do a little pooch punt. That time, they kept it with the quarterback Foxhoven, and now you're asking a lot of your defense here as they will be tasked with defending a short field as Sandy Creek takes over at the Crofton 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Shotgun set. Here is Sealing with Schmidt to his left side, 2 wideouts near side. They motion now 1 guy from right to left, back to pass. Sealy going to take a shot downfield, has a receiver open. It's hauled in. Touchdown. Logan Tomke from 29 yards out. Pitch and catch from Sealy to Tomke. Touchdown, Sandy Creek. And it's now 30-8 here in the Class D1 state championship game. 6:54 to go in the second quarter. And they saw that after a really strong defensive play, once again by Jackson Gerdes, he was able to spin Foxhoven down and stop him short on the 4th down attempt. It took 1 play, 1 shot for Sandy Creek to find pay dirt in the south end zone here at Memorial Stadium. They'll motion Schmidt now, toss it left side. He lunges across the pylon. He's in for the 2-point conversion. And wow, 6:54 remains in the second quarter. It's 32-8, Sandy Creek on top of Crofton. We'll step aside, come back in just a few short moments here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is the Class D1 state championship matchup between Sandy Creek and Crofton, and through about a quarter and a half, a little less than that, it is all Sandy Creek as they lead at 32-8 after they stopped Crofton on 4th down, took over at the Crofton Warriors 29-yard line, and then a 29-yard strike scores the touchdown for Sandy Creek. On the return, Panning trying to get across the 20-yard line. He's going to be marked right at the 20. However, a penalty marker is laying on the turf at the 18-yard line, and we'll see what the referee Jeff Merrill has to say in just a moment. I would imagine that this might be coming back against Crofton. It's going to be a block in the back against the Warriors, and so Crofton will move what's going to be about 12 yards back after the 10-yard penalty. And so 6:46 remains here in the first half. 32-8 is your score. And it's going to be, instead of a 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. And so instead of it being placed at the 20-yard line, since the penalty occurred at the 18, ball will be placed at the 8-yard line. So Jeff Merrill just misspoke. He said half the distance to the goal, but he meant just 10 yards back. And so it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 8-yard line for the Crofton Warriors. Back to pass. Foxhoven throws it across the middle, has a wide open receiver, and there he is, number 20. It is Trevor Allen going across the middle, able to haul it in, and that's probably the most explosive play we've seen the Crofton Warriors offense have today outside of the long pass play earlier. But now it's going to be a 1st and 10 after the 18-yard completion from Foxhoven to Trevor Allen, the junior tight end. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Empty shotgun set. Foxhoven all by himself. Back to pass again. Foxhoven looking, going to take a shot across the middle. It's thrown slightly behind Tyson Jackson, and he was unable to haul it in. He had a lot of running room up on that right sideline. If he was able to haul it in, unable to do so as that pass was slightly behind the intended receiver. And so now that brings up 2nd down and 10 with 6:17 to play in the second quarter. Sandy Creek dominating in the total yards department, 224 total yards for Sandy Creek to the 99 of Crofton. I formation, the motion panning back, toss him right side. Not a whole lot of running room as he's going to get bombarded and tackled by a trio of Sandy Creek defenders in the backfield. Loss of 3, maybe even 4, as that was number 7, Elston Clark, the leading tackler who came into today's game with the team high 128 total tackles. Also, Biltoff, who we've mentioned a couple of times on offense, 2nd in the team in tackles with 107 coming into today's game. He was also in on the stop there for the Sandy Creek Cougars defense. Crofton now, after an explosive play a couple of minutes ago on 1st down from inside their own 10-yard line, they are faced with a tough task. 3rd and 13 from their own 23-yard line. And before the snap on 3rd down, Crofton wants to talk about it. 32-8 your score, 5:33 to play here in the second quarter of action here in the Class D1 state championship game. Nick Sandert with you from Memorial Stadium. Thanks to Jake Bachhoven back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, Austin Orman as well, Jake Sorensen, AD, everybody in part of helping out with preparing for these high school football matchups. First game of 6 that we will bring you throughout the next 2 days here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Also available to be heard everywhere. So normally where you get your 93.7 The Ticket content, you can hear these games as well, and that includes places like the mobile app that works everywhere. So you have friends, family from one of these smaller towns outside of our FM signal area, let them know the mobile app works everywhere. And then on top of that, obviously on the social media streams as well, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X, and then Allo Cable Channel 961. All places for you guys to hear all 6 of the state football championship games over the next 48 hours of time. Once again, Sandy Creek, remember last year they knocked off the opponent in the D1 title game. Sorry about that. I got distracted by something that was on the screen here, but Sandy Creek wins it 44-42 over Stanton in 2024. Now this year trying to go back-to-back against the Crofton Warriors. Crofton breaks the huddle outside of their timeout. 3rd down and 13 from their own 23-yard line. Trailing 32-8 is Crofton. Shotgun snap. Back to pass. Foxhoven looking. Has a receiver across the middle. It's tipped. It's intercepted. Sealing picks it off for Sandy Creek. He's tackled at the 30-yard line of Crofton. It goes through the hands of Jace Panning, the intended receiver. It went through his hands. It should have been a 1st down and more for the Crofton Warriors offense, but instead it went through the hands and into the lap of Cam Sealing for Sandy Creek. And so we will go the other way, and just in a very similar spot. It's not quite deja vu, but it's close as Sandy Creek takes over instead of last time like it was at the 29-yard line. This time they take over 1st and 10 at the Crofton 30, so 1 yard farther back. We saw them take a shot on 1st down that was a touchdown, just last time when they took over in a similar spot. What do they decide to do here? Back to pass, Sealing looking downfield. He's going to throw it towards the end zone. The pass hauled in inside the 5. It's first and goal for Sandy Creek, as on the reception, that is number 9, Logan Tomke. Tomke tackled out of bounds by Jackson inside the 5-yard line, down at the 3. And Sandy Creek right back in business as they already lead 32-8. And it's going to be first and goal from the 3. So Sealing in the shotgun, 2 tight ends flexed to the right side of that offensive line. They've done a lot of creative things out of this formation. They've motioned some guys. They've done some reverses. This time they're going to just toss it on the jet toss. Here's Schmidt. He gets tackled around the waist and thrown back by Tyson Jackson. He'll lose a yard on the play. It's going to bring up second down and goal from the 4. That first down on that long pass play, the 12th first down of the day for Sandy Creek, and we haven't even reached halftime. We have 4:57 to go until that halftime break. 32-8 is your score. And so just as a reminder, make sure you stick around during halftime. We'll send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios for the halftime show before bringing it back out here to Memorial Stadium. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to play in quarter number 2. They turn, fake the handoff, Sealing keeps it, and he will walk, jog into the end zone for another touchdown as Sandy Creek continues to pour it on. They lead it 38-8 with 4.5 to go in the second quarter. So 4 minutes and 35 seconds shows on the game clock, and Sandy Creek will now just go on to attempt an extra point. Snap, the hold, it's good, and the kick is also good. With 4:35 to go in the second quarter, it's now 39-8. Sandy Creek leads by 31, still with a couple of minutes remaining until halftime here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
After a Crofton interception, Sandy Creek then took over first and 10 at the 30-yard line of Crofton. It took a long pass down the near sideline to Logan Tomke to get inside the 5-yard line for first and goal, and then just 2 plays later, Cam Sealing able to trot on in for another touchdown. Sandy Creek now leads 39-8. 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go until halftime. And Crofton, much needed here. They need some points. Sandy Creek will also receive the second half kickoff. Sandy Creek won the toss. They elected to defer and forced a couple of 3-and-outs right off the bat. Now, some more interesting ways of defensive performance the last 2 drives on the field for Sandy Creek defensively, where the 2 drives ago, where they scored on a 29-yard pitch and catch, they were able to stop Crofton on 4th down. Now, that last time, most recently, a pass that if you're Crofton, especially if you're a quarterback, you're sitting there as you're Preston Foxhoven, the sophomore quarterback, you're sitting there saying, man, I delivered the mail. It was on target, and the receiver just was unable to haul it in. It bounced through both of his hands and into the lap of Cam Sealing, the quarterback defensive back as well for Sandy Creek. He just went down, and it was first and 10 from the 30-yard line. And so in the blink of an eye, instead of it was at one point just a 3-possession game. Now you're facing a much taller task. 39-8 is your score. Speed option right side. Tyson Jackson's going to have to get going a little bit more if they want to get back into this game. He's spun around, flipped over, and he's tackled 5 yards past the line of scrimmage after a gain of 5 on first down to make it second down and 5. after the first down carry by Tyson Jackson. Once again, no matter what happens here today, I mean, Tyson Jackson, his season coming into today, 2,297 rushing yards. He's averaging almost 10 yards per carry. He's not today, and Sandy Creek's done a good job defending him as they're back to pass. Foxhoven looking around, throws it left side. It's hauled in now by the receiver, number 15. Jackson Line was the receiver on that play. He's going to be about a yard shy of the line to gain, brings up 3rd down and 1. And if you are Crofton here, you're sitting here figuring out, okay, what can we do to convert this 3rd down attempt? They only have one successful 3rd down on the day. Otherwise, they are 1 for 6. 3rd down and 1 from the 24-yard line. Got to get to the 25. They come out, I formation. The fullback on the play is number 9, Grant Jordan. Tyson Jackson lined up behind him. He's going to get the toss. Keeps it upfield, has the first down, and then some. For good measure, he gets a gain of 4 up to the 28-yard line. And so move the chains, a much-needed Crofton first down. And that's now going to bring up 1st down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Or rather, 28-yard line. 1st down and 10 from the 28 for the Crofton Warriors offense. One wide out each side. Shotgun snap. It's empty formation for Foxhoven. Preston communicates from the sideline to his far sideline receiver. He's back to pass, has a receiver. It's open. It's hauled in, and inside the 10, touchdown Crofton. The pass is complete from the 28-yard line to Jackson Line. The senior tight end hauls it in, and it's now 39-14 with 2:48 to go in the second quarter. Jackson Line able to get past his defender, and finally on a ball that was thrown in the perfect spot from Foxhoven, he was finally able to find a receiver to haul it in. And so now Foxhoven and this Crofton offense stays on the field for a 2-point conversion attempt. Empty shotgun, back to pass Foxhoven. Looking, throws it right side towards the sideline. It's bobbled, but there's a marker on the play. This one is going to be a penalty in the end zone. The intended receiver was Jackson, Allen. It was Trevor Allen on the receiving end of that pass. However, it was bobbled and it was incomplete. This is going to be a penalty in the end zone, charge to Sandy Creek. It's going to be a pass interference play. So a penalty, So with 2:48 to go in the second quarter, Crofton's going to get another crack at the 2-point attempt. 39-14 your score. The ball is placed after the penalty, half the distance to the goal at the 1.5-yard line. 2 tight ends flexed right side. Jackson's going to line up in the Wildcat. He keeps it. He'll power it right side. Jackson lowers the shoulder. They're going to say he was denied. Tyson Jackson gets stood up on the right side, just shy of the pylon, just shy of the goal line as well. And with 2:48 to go in the second quarter, it's 39-14. Sandy Creek leads it, but Crofton gets a touchdown back. So once again, that was finally the first time that Crofton was able to convert on a long pass play for a touchdown. They've tried to get some space, and they've had guys that have beaten defenders, but either partially it's because Foxhoven hasn't been able to deliver the mail accurately, or when he has, Crofton hasn't necessarily been able to haul it in on the receiving end. And so this time, though, with 2:48 to go in the second quarter, 39-14 is your score. And Sandy Creek, they have a chance to go 2 for 1 here. They've been able to have some explosive plays, especially to a guy like Logan Tomkey at times. But once again, Sandy Creek, they won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. And so Sandy Creek, if you're looking at this saying 2:48 on the clock, we're up 39-14, you have a chance to go 2 for 1 here if you manage everything correctly, if you're head coach Andrew Kuda on that Sandy Creek sideline. Crofton will kick off. The wind has officially picked up, but the flags aren't blowing as strong as they appeared to be at kickoff, a little after 10:15 a.m. this morning. But it's also shifted. Instead of going directly north, it's kind of blowing a little more northwest here. But still, Crofton will kick with the wind mostly at their back, blowing about 10 miles per hour here at Memorial Stadium. And it is kicked off. Now it's going to be an onside attempt fielded by Sandy Creek right at midfield. It wasn't the prettiest of onside kick attempts, but a nice job by Alex Watts on the recovery. He just dove on that loose pigskin right at midfield in the middle of the N here at Memorial Stadium, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. 2:47. Cam Seeley so far today, 148 yards through the air, 86 yards on the ground. He's accounted for, in some way, for all 5 of Sandy Creek's touchdowns. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, empty shotgun set. One receiver on the near side, one tight end on the right side of that line as well here in the 8-man football matchup. Seeley keeps it himself, has a big hole up the left side, has a blocker. He's just following the block of Tom Key across the first down line to gain inside the 30, and down at the 26-yard line goes Cam Seeley as he is now eclipsed 100 yards in the air and now 100 yards on the ground. Cam Seeley now continuing to put this Sandy Creek offense and team on his back. He has done it fair share more than on the offensive side of the ball. But, man, defensively, Cam Seeley also with a couple of pass breakups and an interception just earlier in the second quarter here today. Cam Seeley, the sophomore quarterback. Seeley in the shotgun set, motions Schmidt out to the right side, back to pass, gets pressured off the edge, evades one sack, now throws it downfield to Tom Key, and it's just short. Tom Key was in the end zone. He was going to have to come back to field that pass in one-on-one coverage, but once again, Tom Key unable to haul that one in. It was about 2 yards short was the pass, just needed a little bit more mustard behind it, and it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line. 39-14 is your score. 2:07 to play until the halftime break. Make sure you stick around for the halftime show. We'll send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Jake Bachhoven, Os Norman, DP, the entire crew back 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln, just 2 blocks south of where I currently am sitting. Shotgun set, hands it off. Now Seeley has it up the middle of the field. Jukes one defender, has some more running room, and Seeley trots in for a touchdown from 26 yards out with 1:58 to go in the second quarter. It's now 45-14. Seeley faked the handoff to Schmidt. He was able to escape one tackler, then juked another guy out of his shoes in the second level, and then was able to evade a shoestring tackle attempt by the Crofton defense. And he continues to run all over this Memorial Stadium turf. It's now 45-14. The point after is up, and the point after is good. With 1:58 to go in the second quarter, it's now 46-14 as Sandy Creek has continued to dominate here this morning at Memorial Stadium in the Class D1 state championship game. We'll go ahead and keep it right here as we have just a few minutes left until halftime. But once again, 46-14 is your score with 1:58 to play in the second quarter. So Crofton, now if you're looking at this saying, all right, maybe we can get another explosive play and answer right back, Crofton will have the slight wind at their back. But that drive, 3 plays, 40 yards, and a 26-yard touchdown run. And once again, if you are Sandy Creek there, you took 49 seconds of game time off the clock. So Sandy Creek ready to kick this one off. Crofton back deep is Jace Panning. And kick is off, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. So 1st and 10 is where, at the 15-yard line, is where Crofton will set up shop with 1:58 remaining in quarter number 2. So Crofton necessarily hasn't done anything bad offensively. You knew that coming in, they were going to lean heavily on their leading rusher and one of the better rushers in the state at this level, and Tyson Jackson. He came in averaging 9.7 yards per carry. He's well short of that today, but nonetheless, Tyson Jackson hasn't been able to really get going. He's lined up on the right side here as Foxhoven's in the empty shotgun set. Back to pass is Foxhoven. Looks downfield, throws it downfield. Watch out, Jackson gets upended, able to haul it in. What a nice job by Tyson Jackson. There's a lot of traffic in that middle area of the field. And Foxhoven kind of floated that one across the middle. At first, I thought it was going to be intended for number 15, Jackson Line, but instead it was intended for Tyson Jackson. Came across the middle, hauled it in for a first down. Ball's now at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for Crofton. Back to pass again, Foxhoven. Looking downfield, and that is right into the lap of Schmidt, the Sandy Creek defender. It's intercepted, going the other way, and Sandy Creek continues to make play after play after play. Foxhoven just did not see the defender wearing the red jersey right in the middle area of the field, and that was almost as if he threw it right to him instead of to his teammate. And so with 1:27 to go in the second quarter, Sandy Creek takes over. They lead at 46-14 already, but now it is 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of the Crofton Warriors. Sandy Creek continues to pile it on. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Seeley motions a tight end from right to left, now pushes it left side, and they're going to say that the tight end number 12 on the play, who is Wes Biltoff, not set after he was sent in motion from right to left, and a false start will drive this Sandy Creek offense back 5 yards to make it 1st and 15. They've had a couple of penalties today where they've been driven back a couple of yards because of procedural issues, but nonetheless has not stopped them. Sandy Creek having their way with this Crofton defense. Sandy Creek, 14 first downs on the day compared to just 6 for Crofton, and the scoreboard would indicate that they've had a lot more success. They're 4 for 4 on 3rd down as Sandy Creek have yet to punt today. Seeley bounces it left side on 1st and 15, evades 2 tacklers, and barrels his way forward across the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 8 on 1st down and 15 to make it 2nd down and 7 now coming up from the 27-yard line. 1:05 to go until halftime. 46-14 is your score. 2nd down and 8 officially from the 26. We are under a minute to go. All 3 timeouts for Sandy Creek to work with here in the late stages of the second quarter. 2nd down and 8. Empty shotgun snap, back to pass, Seeley, looking. Tomke beat his man on the cut. The throw is underthrown again. It could have been another touchdown. Seeley unable to put enough on it, though, and it's going to be incomplete to bring up 3rd down and 8. They took a shot to their playmaker, Tomke, downfield, unable to haul it in again, and so that brings up 3rd down and 8 from the 26-yard line. 39 seconds remain in the second quarter. 46-14 is your score. Sandy Creek leads it over Crofton here in the Class D1 state championship game. Shotgun set, 2 tight ends out to the right side, back to pass. Seeley looking, throws it across the middle of the field. It's hauled in by Schmidt. It was a little bit of a lob, but no problem there as he's in for the touchdown. It's hauled in by Schmidt. He runs it the additional 10 yards, and Sandy Creek continues the offensive onslaught. It is now 52-14 with still 30 seconds to go until halftime. So Schmidt able on the receiving end of it to haul it in. He cut back, tiptoed the sideline on the far side, and walked in to the end zone. 52-14, make it 53-14 after the point after is good. And with 30 seconds to go in the second quarter, Sandy Creek now leads it 53-14 over Crofton. Crofton just struggling defensively here. That drive, 3 plays, 28 yards. It took less than a minute off of the clock. Sandy Creek came in 11-1. They lost earlier this year to Shelby Rising City, a team that, in fact, in the last week of the regular season, Crofton actually beat Shelby Rising City 28-8, but Sandy Creek lost to them earlier in the season. So this is proof that the transitive property doesn't really work, as Sandy Creek leading 53-14 still before halftime here in the Class D1 state championship game. So once again, 30 seconds to go until halftime. So Jace Panning will once again be the return man. Berger is the kicker for Sandy Creek. The right foot meets the leather, and we are underway once again as this one goes into the end zone for the touchback. So with 30 seconds exactly on the game clock, we'll see what Crofton decides to do. They trail it 53-14 here with 30 seconds to go until the halftime break. I'd be interested to hear, if you're Crofton and head coach Johnny Ostermeyer, what's the conversation at halftime here for Ostermeyer? It's 1st and 10, ball on the 15-yard line. It's 53-14 after the touchback. I formation. Tyson Jackson lined up as the running back under center Foxhoven. He's back to pass. Foxhoven looking, steps up in the pocket, throws downfield, has Allen open, and it's tipped away. A great job in coverage by Seeley, as Seeley was able to knock it away. Even though Crofton has the wind at their back, that one kind of floated up there and took a while for it to come down. And so it's going to be 2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line for the Crofton Warriors. Trailing 53-14 on the day, Sandy Creek 153 rushing yards compared to just 42 for Crofton. On 3rd downs, 5 for 5 on the day for Sandy Creek, 2 for 6 for the Warriors. Crofton facing 2nd down and 10 from the 15. Foxhoven back to pass, looking, still surveying, throws across his body. It's hauled in by Line across midfield, and he's tackled out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Maybe they'll mark him out a yard shy at the 40, but still it's going to be a 1st down for the Crofton Warriors. With 13 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter, Crofton does have 2 timeouts to work with in 13 seconds. Empty shotgun set. He was out of bounds, so the clock will not stop till they snap it, which they do now. Back to pass. Foxhoven rushes right side. A lot of clock burning. That one's through the hands of Tyson Jackson. Just a lot of congestion downfield in the middle there, and they were unable to haul in that pass. So now you really have maybe one shot at the end zone with 6 seconds on the clock. It's 2nd down and 10 from the 40-yard line, right at midfield. 2nd down and 10, 6 seconds remain here in the first half. 53-14, Sandy Creek dominating in the first 2 quarters of action over the Crofton Warriors. Class D1 crown is on the line, 2nd down and 10. Foxhoven back to pass. They rush 3. He steps up. He's going to just tuck and run, try to get out of bounds. Are they going to say he still had 1 second left on the clock? I'm not sure they are. The clock is showing 000. We'll see what the head referee, Jeff Merrill, has to say about it. And it appears that it's going to be halftime. So they did not get out of bounds in time, and it just continues the trend as Sandy Creek rushes back to the locker room. Crofton slowly jogs back to theirs in the south end of the stadium here at Memorial Stadium. But for now, we will send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios as we have reached halftime. It's 53-14. Sandy Creek, 53 points in 24 minutes of football here in the D1 title game on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back in studio here for the halftime show on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Nebraska High School Football Championships here on The Ticket. Class D1 right now. They are at the half, and man, is Sandy Creek rolling. 53-14. Sandy Creek, the Cougars, with the lead over Crofton at this point. Sandy Creek, too, looking for their first, they had their first title last year. So looking for back-to-back would be the first time that they could go back-to-back, obviously, with their first title last year. So congratulations to the Cougar. The work is not done, but they have built a pretty substantial lead here. Again, 53-14 over Crofton, but still 24 minutes of action still to play. So we'll send it back out to Nick Sainert when they are ready to do that. Until then, we can just talk some ball here and give you an update on what's going on in Husker athletics and maybe what's to come here on 93.7 The Ticket. In fact, we'll start with that as we are on high school football. Two more championship games later today. It's just an awesome day here, Monday and Tuesday. Champions crown, dreams from when kids are playing a young age to play in Memorial Stadium are realized, and so it's a very cool day here. So 2:45 about the start time for St. Mary's and Why Not. That will be the Class D2 championship game. And then the nightcap this evening, we jump to Class B. Number 1 Waverly, the number 1 seed, I should say, against the 2 seed Gretna East. All chalk in Class B as they will meet for the championship this evening at 7:15. Once again, Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman will be on the call for both those games. And then, of course, tomorrow, more high school football champions to be crowned. We'll start it off in the morning, Class C1. The 1 seed Wahoo against the 3 seed Sydney. That will be around 10:15. Again, all these games can be heard here on 93.7 The Ticket. Also tomorrow at 2:45, the 4 seed Grand Island Central Catholic has made it the championship game. They'll take on the 2 seed Bishop Newman. And the nightcap for tomorrow evening will be Class A, Millard South and Papillion La Vista South to determine the champion there in Class A. Once again, all those games will be on 93.7 The Ticket with Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman on the call. So really looking forward to a lot of football here in the next couple of days. Hopefully, Nick can keep his voice as he gets going here. If the scoring keeps up like this, he might have trouble doing so. Of course, there is a little bit more high-scoring action usually in some 8-man football with the shorter fields and all that. So we'll see what what is to come in the second half. But once again, off to a good start for Sandy Creek, looking to defend their title, to go back to back here with a 53-14 lead. Of course, as we jump to the college ranks, we will be awaiting. Austin Orman already has made his way over to Memorial Stadium as well for the press conference. Iowa, of course, this week on a short week, 11 a.m. broadcast on CBS. Both teams 7-4 entering that game. For Nebraska, too, also noteworthy, 4-4 in the Big Ten, looking for their first season over 500 in conference play since 2016. So they'll look to get that done against the Hawkeyes. Obviously, did not get it done on the road against Penn State this past Saturday, 37-10 loss there to the Nittany Lions. So tough one for Nebraska football, but they look to bounce back once again here on Black Friday on this Thanksgiving week. Looking around at some of the other sports for Nebraska, let's jump to volleyball. They did pretty well. In fact, as well as you can do, they won a Big Ten title outright this week by sweeping Indiana 3-0 there Saturday. Reminder, they've only lost one set all year in Big Ten play, that to UCLA. They've got two more matches with the win in hand, right? But you still want to finish undefeated. You still want to sweep these teams. And traditionally, pretty good team in Penn State coming to town here for their home match. That will be on Friday. And then they'll wrap up the regular season on Saturday, another home match against Ohio State. So I say it all the time, those tickets are hard to get. But if you can reach out and find some, it's a heck of a time to go watch the Husker volleyball team dominant and the number one team in the nation, obviously, getting another win this weekend once again over Indiana. We move to men's basketball. They're off to a good start, 6-0 so far for the basketball team. They will welcome in Winthrop. Winthrop 3-3 on the years, but the Eagles lost only by 1 point to number 21 Arkansas on the road earlier this year. So Winthrop could give Nebraska a heck of a battle. That'll be 7:30 on BTN tomorrow evening, Nebraska and Winthrop. Of course, Nebraska coming off the Hall of Fame Classic championship that they won over Kansas State. It's been a hot start for Nebraska men's basketball. Also, a hot start for Nebraska women's basketball as they get ready to go in the Emerald Coast Classic down in Florida. They will take on the Purdue University Fort Wayne Mastodons. Very cool name, Mastodons. 3-2 entering the game here today. Nebraska 5-0. So that would be exciting. Tomorrow, by the way, the winner or Nebraska will play either the winner or the loser. Obviously, a 4-team bracket there of Virginia and Northwestern State. You'd figure that would be Virginia if Nebraska can take down the Mastodons today. Virginia, favorite against Northwestern State, was Virginia, by the way, 4-1 so far on the season, 17-15 last year. So both basketball teams undefeated. Hopefully they can continue to keep it that way. Looking at the national scene, what we got going on today. Of course, you got Monday Night Football. Carolina Panthers at 6-5 will take on the San Francisco 49ers at 7-4. So how about that for Carolina? 6-5 on the year. It's been a while since we said the Carolina Panthers have been able to have a winning season. We'll see if they can continue to get that done. Of course, San Francisco, good on their own right, but they're going to have to keep up there in the NFC West battle. Of course, could still try to claim a wild card spot, but still an important game for them this evening. Los Angeles Rams, red hot. Los Angeles Rams now up to 9-2 in the NFC West. Seattle Seahawks 8-3, and the 49ers now 7-4. So they're going to want to win tonight. Going to be an important game for both teams. In fact, for Carolina, they could take the division lead if they win this evening. They would be 7-5 once again. Carolina right now tied with Tampa Bay at the top of the NFC South at 6-5. And for that specific division, don't know if you're going to get a wild card spot. So you might just want to win the division. Appears to be down. And of course, plenty of time left to go. Maybe the Atlanta Falcons at 4-7 can make a run. They actually have a favorable schedule ahead in the next couple of weeks. But Tampa Bay and Carolina tied at 6-5 atop that division. Probably only one of those teams going to make the playoffs. So it'll be quite an important game here for Carolina this evening. We can go ahead and look as well as we jump back and jump in a little bit, but I also wanted to give you an idea of what was going on in the Big Ten this week as we head into rivalry weekend. Nebraska and Iowa, I mentioned earlier, going to be playing on Black Friday. Could be a little bit cold there, by the way. Chances of some rain to be in the mix there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that game goes. Also playing on Black Friday will be Indiana, looking to cap off their undefeated regular season. They'll take on rival Purdue for the old Oaken Bucket. Should be an easy bucket win for Indiana. Again, they're 8-0 in Big Ten play. Purdue 0-8 in Big Ten play. So that would be one of the bigger upsets of the year if the Boilermakers could get it done. Speaking of needing an upset, Michigan will need an upset against Ohio State in the game here with Michigan going into this game 9-2, but against 11-0, of course, number 1 Ohio State. It looks like the Big Ten probably going to get 3 teams into the college football playoff. Already mentioned Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon with their big victory over USC. Likely stopped any chance for the Trojans of getting in. Michigan would definitely be in if they can win. I shouldn't say definitely, but would very likely be in if you can beat Ohio State there. I can't see a 10-2 Michigan team, Big Ten team, with a victory over Ohio State like that being left out. So the chance to get 4 is Michigan to win. However, it'll be tough. They've been bigger underdogs. I think they're 9.5-point underdogs in this game here on Saturday. I think they're 20.5-point underdogs last year. So they've had Ohio State's number. Certainly going to be the game of interest. By the way, you wanted to get into that game, you want to make a road trip to Ann Arbor, plan on paying $318 for the get-in price. So I'm sure that will be among the most expensive this week. Other games on the Big Ten docket, I mentioned Oregon likely in. In fact, even if they lose to Washington, probably in. But they will have a game against Washington this Saturday from Husky Stadium at 2:30 on CBS. Also at 2:30, Wisconsin and Minnesota. Minnesota already bowl eligible at 6-5. Wisconsin won't be there, but they're looking to continue their hot streak to end the season at 4-7 here. Also at 2:30, Penn State and Rutgers. The winner of that will go to a bowl. The loser of that will likely not. We've seen 5-7 teams in bowls before, but both teams entering that game 5-6. So the winner of that likely going bowling. At 3:30 on Saturday, UCLA and USC on NBC from the Coliseum. At 6 o'clock, Maryland and Michigan State. Maryland 4-7, Michigan State 3-8. But somebody's gonna have to win that game. Win that game, excuse me. And then at 6:30 to wrap up Big Ten play this week on Fox will be Northwestern and Illinois. Illinois coming off a disappointing week this past week. Will look to go to get their 8th win of the season. Northwestern will be looking for their 7th. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. That'll wrap it up for the halftime show. We'll send it back out to Nick Sainert for the second half of Sandy Creek and Crofton. Once again, the Sandy Creek Cougars looking for their back-to-back championship here. They're up 53-14 at the break. Nick Sainert will be on the call when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Weekend forecast for today. A chance of showers with patchy fog. Otherwise cloudy skies and light winds. The high around 56. Tonight we'll see decreasing cloud cover with light winds. And a low around 42. And tomorrow we'll see mostly sunny skies. It'll be windy with an afternoon high around 50. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sayer back with you from Memorial Stadium as that first half was all Sandy Creek. And the words and the murmurs up here in the press box here on the 6th floor on the west side of Memorial Stadium, all one common theme. That's the quarterback for Sandy Creek, Cam Seeley, legit. He's has had a part in every single touchdown for Sandy Creek to this point, and has over 100 yards on the ground, 100 yards through the air. And Cam Seeley is really showing what he can do. Just a sophomore. Cam Seeley, 6'1", 180 pounds, really going to work today against the Crofton defense. Has kind of picked him apart, not only on the ground but also in the passing game. Mentioned earlier, there was a couple of big passes to Logan Tomke, and there was a moment here where Sandy Creek was up by, I say, just 3 scores, but Crofton was kind of firmly right back into it, and they had some momentum. And then it all changed midway through that second quarter, I would say, with about 4 minutes left on the game clock, down by 3 scores. Crofton, instead of punting it away on 4th down and 9 from their own 30 or from their own 26-yard line, they ran a quarterback keeper with Foxhoven, and he ran it to the right side, was spun around and thrown down at the 29-yard line. It was a turnover on downs that Sandy Creek was able then to take over, and on the first play, they took a shot downfield. Logan Tomke was on the receiving end of a 29-yard pass for a touchdown from Cam Seeley, and then on the very next Crofton drive, on the second play of that drive, they throw an interception across the middle, and Sandy Creek would take over at the 30-yard line, and it took them just 2 plays that next drive to find the end zone again. And in the blink of an eye, you sat there and you said, man, we just gave up 14 points. And Crofton looks at the scoreboard and sees that they've only scored 14 points the entire game to this point. It's 53-14, just sheer dominance in that first half by Sandy Creek. Didn't expect it to be this lopsided. He came into the game, and sure, I made a joke earlier about the transitive property and that, okay, Crofton beat Shelby Rising City, Sandy Creek lost to Shelby Rising City, so therefore Crofton should beat Sandy Creek. I wouldn't say that at all. But once again, you look at just the sheer dominance for Sandy Creek. They're gaining them on the ground 153 yards to 47. I mean, this is a Crofton team that really it's just uncharacteristic right now because Tyson Jackson is real quiet. He came into the game averaging 9.7 yards per carry for 2,297 rushing yards on the entire season, 50 rushing touchdowns. And there was even a moment, Sandy Creek, and this is just a power of will type of thing, on a 2-point conversion attempt, Sandy Creek was able to stuff Tyson Jackson on the right side in space from just 1 yard out on a 2-point conversion attempt. I mean, so those types of things have not gone Crofton's way, and we'll see if the second half can be a little bit more competitive on the scoreboard. All right, we're ready to go here in half number 2. Thanks to Bach and the team for continuing the halftime show back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, as this kickoff is going to be fielded, and they will take over 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. On the return there, it was number 5 for Sandy Creek, Wyatt Livgren, the sophomore. You look at the Sandy Creek team also. You see Cam Seeley, Wyatt Livgren, Wyatt Hemberger, John Skalka, Thaxton Sintek. All of these guys are sophomores playing some pretty crucial roles here today. They all won a state championship last year in 2024, trying to win their second straight here in 2025 with still now 2 seasons remaining in their high school careers. This handoff to Schmidt on 1st down. He's going to get tripped up. We've seen some difficulty. Now, these are guys that are more so than not used to playing on grass surfaces. We talk about the transition from turf to grass often. Nebraska just dealt with it. We saw some slippage at Penn State. We know that in a couple of years, Memorial Stadium is going to turn to a grass playing surface because that's what Matt Rule and the staff wants here. But we don't talk much about the transition from grass surfaces, especially at this level, where maybe the athletes aren't so superior, but the difference between turf and grass and going from grass to turf surfaces. Schmidt gets the handoff, still off and running, and he's taken down finally after a gain of 15, make it 20-plus yards all the way up to the 34-yard line. It was kind of funky. He was spun around, and it looked like Crofton thought that he touched the turf. He kind of spun around, kept his balance, stayed on his feet, and was able to pop back up. A nice job defensively by Crofton sticking around with him. They do have review here, and that's accurate. He did not go down. A nice job by Schmidt to stay on his feet. Great use of the balance there. But nonetheless, it's now 1st and 10 for Sandy Creek on offense with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ball's on their own 35-yard line. Shotgun set. Seeley tosses it right side, fumble on the play. That's the first issue that we've seen with a Sandy Creek side of the ball. Whether it's offense, defense, that's the first mess up and mistake that almost cost them a possession. They were able to get it. It bounced out of bounds, and it's going to be a loss of 3 yards back to the 32-yard line. So 2nd down and 13, and this is where Crofton has not necessarily been able to make them pay. They've had them in chances where they've been 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15, even 3rd and 13 at times, but yet has not been able to get off the field. And so with that, we'll see now in the second half, can Crofton have some revitalized energy and maybe get some stops as Sandy Creek is behind schedule. 2nd down and 13, back to pass Seeley. He steps up, has all day. Now he'll have a lot of running room across the 35-yard line and out of bounds at midfield. At the 40-yard line is Cam Seeley, and that's going to be a gain of about 8 on the play to make it 3rd down and 5 with less than 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Feels like this third quarter going by a lot quicker than that second quarter was. 53-14 is your score. There is a running clock in NSAA high school football, and so that could be in part as Sandy Creek is up by more than 35, why this clock is moving at an abbreviated pace. 2 wideouts far side, 1 running back to the right hip of Seeley. That's Schmidt. They turn, fake the handoff, back to pass. The throw is through the hands of the intended receiver in, that was number 13, Wyatt Hemberger, who was the intended receiver on the play. And so because of that, it is now going to bring up 4th down and 5. And can we see, for the first time today, a Sandy Creek punt? I would imagine so, up by 39, that they will go ahead and just boot this one away. Sandy Creek slow to break the huddle, and they're going to break out. Unless this is a pooch punt, they might be going for it. Unless they're going to take the delay of game. No, they'll snap it. They'll go for it on 4th down. Sealing keeps it himself, tries to barrel forward. Did he get the first down? He sure did. Wow. With 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, up 53-14, facing a 4th and 5, Sandy Creek goes for it. And they get 6 yards. Cam Seeley, 1st and 10 coming up. Ball now at the 34-yard line of Crofton. Wow, going for it on 4th and 5 when you're up 53-14. 7:02 to play in the third quarter. Ball is on the Crofton 34. Seeley in the shotgun by himself. Now motions a receiver. He tosses it left side. Here's Schmidt trying to get some open running room. He gets across the 25-yard line and down just shy of the 20. At the 21, that is going to be another 1st down for Sandy Creek. That chain gang on the far sideline getting a workout when Sandy Creek is on offense. Sandy Creek on the day, 358 yards of offense. In comparison, Crofton with 206. 1st and 10 now from the 21-yard line, 6:21 to play in the third quarter. Sandy Creek sends Seeley, out there in the shotgun by himself, back to pass. Seeley rolls to his right, getting pressured off the backside, has a wide open receiver on the far sideline. That is number 1, Alex Watts, on the reception. Gets it inside the 15-yard line down at the 12. So a 9-yard gain on first down makes it 2nd down and 1 with 5:54 to play in the third quarter. Sandy Creek, they received the second half kickoff and have been on offense for almost 6.5 minutes of this third quarter here. 2nd down and 1 from the 12. Seeley turns, fakes the handoff, triple option play. They toss it left side, and now Schmidt is going to be taken down for a loss. A great job defensively, as that was number 5 for the Crofton Warriors defense, Cole Miller, the junior defensive back, or rather, number 9, That was number 9, Grant Jordan, the junior defensive back, in on the stop. It was a triple option where Seeley faked the handoff to Alston Clark. Then they ran Caden Schmidt left side and the second part of the option, and Seeley decided to toss it left side, and great job defensively by Crofton. 4:54 to play in the third quarter, 7 seconds on the possession. Here with Sandy Creek up 53-14. Empty shotgun set, back to pass, 3-step drop, rolls to his right, has all day. They have the spy, throws it downfield into the end zone. Did he get his right foot in? No, he did not. He hauled in the pass, did Biltoff, but it was out of reach for the intended receiver in the end zone. And so Seeley, for the first time today on 3rd down, he's going to trot off the field. And I believe we're going to see a field goal attempt here for the first time today for either side. The ball is placed at the 18-yard line, and so this will be a 35-yard field goal for Ben Berger, the senior kicker. First field goal attempt, all point afters have been perfect today. The kick for Berger. Does it have enough leg towards the north end zone? It had enough, but it was pushed to the right. It is no good. So 53-14 is where we stay with 3 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the third quarter. And with that, Crofton takes over on offense. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so here we go. Crofton on first down. They're at the 15-yard line. They'll turn, hand it off. Here's Tyson Jackson for the first time today, has an opening, has a hole, and he's going to be able to get all the way in for the touchdown. Tyson Jackson finally able to break through, and Crofton scores another touchdown. Now here on the 2-point conversion attempt, they're going to rush and keep their offense on the field. They go quick. Jackson tried to throw it left side, and so a lot of stuff happened right there in just a few moments. But with 3:08 to go in the third quarter, they turned, handed off to Tyson Jackson. He skirted up the middle. He broke one tackle, and then it was off to the races. Caden Schmidt unable to grab him down from behind. 69 yards for Tyson Jackson as Crofton is able to get one touchdown back. So with 3:08 to go in the third quarter, it's now a 53-20 ball game, and we have a timeout on the field. We'll go ahead and keep it right here. And we saw it where Crofton, in between the missed field goal and Crofton taking over, you saw where Crofton with the running clock. Now we are out of running clock territory, by the way, with 3:08 to go in the third quarter, and it only being a 33-point differential instead of 35. We saw that Crofton was a little bit quicker getting out there, and that time they were able to jump on and try to find some pay dirt early. They did so with Tyson Jackson with another rushing touchdown this season, his 51st of the year. 53-20 is your score now. And so 3:08 remains. We'll see if Crofton, they attempted an onside kick, a surprise onside kick earlier in the game, was unsuccessful. We'll see if they are able to maybe try another one here. 53-20, 3:08 to play in the third quarter. One returner back at the 10-yard line. The other 7 players for Sandy Creek are up near midfield. We'll see what they decide to do. It is going to be a short onside kick attempt, but it's a fair catch signaled for by Caden Schmidt, and he hauls it in at the 31-yard line of Sandy Creek. And so with 3:07 to go in the third quarter, it is still 53-20. Ball is placed on the Sandy Creek 31-yard line. We'll see after they came away for the first time with 0 points on their last drive. First time today that's been a thing. It was also the first time that they had not converted on a third down, but then they went for it on fourth down, and then the second time that they failed on third down, they missed the field goal attempt on fourth down. But nonetheless, here we are, 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for Sandy Creek. Empty shotgun set for Seeley. One wide out far side, one tight end to the right side of that line. He's back to pass. He's going to step up, has a blocker, and a lot of running room. There goes Cam Seeley once again. He almost gave himself up, but now decided to just keep on chugging away. He gets into enemy territory across the 35-yard line of Crofton and down to 32. 53-20 is your score. 1st and 10 from now the Crofton 32-yard line with 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. Seeley breaks the huddle. 2 tight ends flex to the right side of that offensive line. A great job blocking up front by the Sandy Creek offensive line. The big fella's eating today. Seeley in the shotgun, tosses it, reverses now. Biltoff running right side, cuts inside the hash marks, inside the 25-yard line, barreled his way across that first down line to gain, and is taken down finally at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up now after a nice 12-yard gain on the reverse play to Biltoff for the Sandy Creek Cougars offense. 1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line, 2:24 to play in the third quarter. It's 53-20. Sandy Creek out in front, still comfortable over the Crofton Warriors. Sandy Creek just been dominating on the ground game. 47 total plays ran. This will be their 48th, and it comes with 2:08 to play in the third quarter. Empty shotgun, trips out far side on the shallow side of the field. Snap back, looking. Takes a quick pass, right side, it's hauled in by number 5, Wyatt Livgren, and Livgren able to tiptoe that sideline, get a couple of yards extra for good measure, and it's going to be a gain of about 6 up to the 14-yard line, makes it 2nd down and 4 with 1:58 to play in the third quarter. Class D1 state championship game. Nick Sainert with you from Memorial Stadium. Jay Foreman will join me for Class D2 action coming up shortly after 2 p.m., and then Class B action later on tonight after 7 p.m. 7:15 is the scheduled kickoff for Waverly and Gretna East tonight. Tomorrow, 10:15, 2:15, 7:15 for Class C1, C2, and A, respectively. Here's Seeley, has a hole, and he scores. Touchdown, Cam Seeley again. Stop me if you've heard it before, but that is a Sandy Creek touchdown. They lead it 59-20 with 1:53 to go in the third. And so once again, Cam Seeley continuing to show that right now he is the best athlete on the field. He takes it in easily for another touchdown, the quarterback, as Ben Berger comes back out on to attempt the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is no good. He pushed it right again. So Ben Berger unable to get that point after to fall. And so with 1:53 remaining in the third quarter, we'll keep it right here. It's 59-20, a 39-point lead in favor of Sandy Creek. Sandy Creek 11-1 coming into today's game. They have comfortable wins. They beat Southern earlier this year, 71-0. They beat EMF 63-12. They beat Wisner Pilger 51-6. Bridgeport 45-6. Even a team like Johnson Brock, 56-26 earlier this season. Johnson Brock's a team that we have seen here at Memorial Stadium recently. But once again, Sandy Creek just continues to show dominance. And I think a lot of us did not expect it to be a 39-point differential at any point. I certainly can tell you that did not expect Sandy Creek to put up 53 points in the first 2 quarters of play. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and Sandy Creek has come out and been dominant. 59-20, they currently lead over Crofton. Sandy Creek won the title last year after defeating Stanton 44-42. But here we go as Berger ready to kick this one off yet again. This one's going to go over the head of the return man into the end zone for a touchback. And so Crofton will try to continue the arms race here, the track meet, if you will, as they have a little bit of work to do if they want to make this one a little more competitive here, as it is 59-20. First and 10, the ball will be placed at the 15-yard line. $59-20. The game at 2:15, it'll be St. Mary's versus Why Not. That'll be our D2 matchup. Option, right side, and Foxhoven just gets met and tackled. After about a yard gained on the play, it'll now bring up second down and 9 from the 16-yard line. Second down and 9 from the 16. Crofton on the ground, 112 rushing yards, 159 through the air for 271 total. On the other side, Sandy Creek just balanced. 209 on the ground, 214 through the air, 423 total. I formation, they turn, fake the handoff. Foxhoven back to pass, going to throw it downfield, and the receiver unable to come back enough to the football, as I believe that was number 15, Jackson Line. No, rather, Jace Panning was the man intended on that play. Jackson Line actually got knocked down at the big N at center field, and instead of a first down and chains moving for Crofton, it is instead a third and 9 from the 16-yard line. Shotgun formation. Tyson Jackson lined up to the right of Foxhoven. Foxhoven takes the snap, back to pass. Looking, gets pressured right up the middle. Throw across the middle of the field. Intended for Line is no good. It's incomplete again. And that brings up fourth down and 9. Crofton, and give credit where Sandy Creek deserves it, because, man, the defense has been just as dominant as the offense, especially in coverage, as Foxhoven has not been able to, number one, have a lot of time to throw the ball and make some decisions. But as he scrambles the pocket, a great job downfield where things can get lost for Sandy Creek defensively. They've done a nice job of staying with their guys. And that will do it for the end of the third quarter. Your score, 59-20. Sandy Creek on their way to defending their 2024 title, trying to win their second in a row. Tyson Jackson finally able to get on the board here in quarter number 3. But when we come back, it's the final 12 minutes of game time in the Class D1 state championship matchup on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is time to start the fourth quarter of play here in just a moment. And what will Crofton do? Down 39 points, facing a 4th and 9 as we begin the fourth quarter of play here at Memorial Stadium in the Class D1 state championship game. Temperatures actually dropped as we've progressed through the day. The sun is not shining as it is full cloud cover. The lights are actually on here at Memorial Stadium, and as the day and afternoon and evening get closer, they will start to illuminate the field even more. And so once again, it is 4th and 9 with 12 minutes on the game clock. Sandy Creek's dominated time of possession today. 24 minutes of time of possession compared to just 12, 2/3 of it, basically for 2 full quarters. Sandy Creek has held on to the ball. And so nonetheless, if you are Crofton, who will now be having the wind at their back, the wind has actually died down about 5 miles per hour. It was blowing about 10.5 officially, according to the gauges here at Memorial Stadium. Now it's about 6.1. And so not a whole lot of breeze here in one of the epicenters of college football. 4th down and 9. Ball is at the 16-yard line. It looks like Crofton's going to try and go for it. We'll see what they decide to do. Now they will pooch punt it. Sandy Creek did not put anybody back to return this one. This one's towards the corner. A great punt by, once again, Preston Foxhoven, the quarterback who doubles as a punter. He gets it inside the 10-yard line and out of bounds at the 7. And so that is where Sandy Creek now sets up shop with a running clock. It is 59-20. It appears that they've actually pushed back the start time of our next game. And so it's going to start at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. And so that will be heard right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Myself, Jay Foreman, will join me for that one. He'll also join me for tonight's game of Class B. He'll join me for the 2 afternoon and evening games tomorrow as well. Appreciate you guys sticking around, hanging out with me throughout this morning matinee. You're at 59-20 your score. Sandy Creek leads it by 39 with 11 minutes to go in the ball game. They turn, hand it off. Here's a handoff to Alston. This is Alston Clark. A lot of running room up the left side. He gets outside the hash marks, tries to bounce it outside towards the numbers, and he gets taken down after a nice gain. And so just like that, it takes one play to really erase the spectacular punt that Crofton had. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. It was a gain of 18 on first down for Sandy Creek, and they have it 1st and 10 at their own 25. 59-20 as Sandy Creek now with 227 rushing yards as a team. A large bulk of that has come from the quarterback and Cam Seeley. 1st and 10 from the 25. Shotgun snap. They turn, and they hand it off. Schmidt, he's going to get wrapped up, driven back, and thrown down. A great job defensively by Crofton. Seeley, that's one area we've seen him maybe struggle in, is having the correct read on whether he should keep it or hand it off. That was Trevor Allen, who was, by the way, in on the stop, as well as number 35 for the Crofton Warriors, Porter Bartles. And so, once again, though, Seeley, who's basically played a flawless game this morning, that's the one area where maybe just some experience and reading ability comes into effect where he can decide whether or not he should keep it. That's been the second time now tonight, or this morning rather, where he probably should have kept that one and instead handed it off for it to lose about 4 or 5 yards. On 2nd down and 14, they hand it off to Caden Schmidt. Schmidt bounces his way forward for a short gain of maybe 2 to make it 3rd down and 12 from the 23-yard line here in the 4th quarter of play in the Class D1 state championship game. Nick Sainert with you from Memorial Stadium. 9:08 remains on the game clock, less than 10 minutes to go in our first of 6 state championship matchups. We will have one more 8-man matchup, and that is in Class D2. And then we will tear the tape off of the field, and we'll play 11-man football the rest of the way. Pass back on 3rd down. It's caught by Biltoff across the middle. He evades one tackler, and how about this? Biltoff jogging into the end zone inside the 10, and he scores. Sandy Creek adds another with 8:39 to go in the ballgame. It is now 65-20 as Sandy Creek scores another one. They threw it on 3rd down and 12, and Bilta just went across the center of the field. He got into open space, and the rest was history. Point after by Ben Berger. It's a good snap, a good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So finally, Ben Berger, after he missed a 35-yard field goal attempt and then the following point after attempt, he is able to punch that one through. With 8:39 to go in the 4th quarter, it is 66-20. Sandy Creek, the Cougars lead the Crofton Warriors in the Class D1 state championship game. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here from Memorial Stadium on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Nick Sander with you on a Monday morning here in Memorial. As I guess now it's started to transition to Monday afternoon. But here we are, 66-20 in favor of the Sandy Creek Cougars over the Crofton Warriors. 8:39 to go in the fourth quarter, and Crofton takes over on offense after the kick sails into the end zone for a touchback. So once again, Crofton back on offense, down by 46 points. Just a dominating performance by Sandy Creek here today. 8:34 to play in the fourth quarter. The clock starts as we are in running clock territory. Preston Foxhoven takes over under center for Crofton. I formation, Tyson Jackson behind him. He turns, tosses to Jackson. Jackson, a lot of running room up the middle of the field. There goes Jackson again. Across the 40, inside the 20, inside the 10. One play, 6 points, touchdown, Crofton. Tyson Jackson again on a simple toss play right up the middle. He was able to break through some would-be tacklers, and there he goes. Tyson Jackson again with a touchdown. It's 66-26 with 8 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. So Crofton will once again stay on the field for the 2-point conversion. They'll motion Jackson, hand it off to the fullback instead, and he gets stood up. They handed it off to number 9, Grant Jordan. Jordan went nowhere, lost 3 yards on the play. And with that, the 2-point conversion attempt is no good. With 8 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the fourth quarter, it's 66-26. Sandy Creek still leads by a comfortable 40, I would say. And with 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go, Sandy Creek, got to be careful, though. You still don't want to clock watch if you are head coach Andrew Kuda. But yet, once again, Sandy Creek on their way, more than likely, to back-to-back state championships. They won 2024's crown against Stanton in a much closer affair, 44-42. But here, 66-26. A little bit more of a lopsided affair. Eight minutes and 11 seconds remain. For Sandy Creek, Wyatt Livgren is back deep. So we're ready to go. Sandy Creek, they'll field this kick at their own 10-yard line. Here comes Livgren. They're going to say just go down. So he goes down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. And so that is where Sandy Creek sets up shop. I'll be interested to see if some point, now obviously at this level in Class D1 and D2, not a ton of guys suit up for football, just the population just isn't large. And so I'd be surprised to see if Sandy Creek replaces their sophomore quarterback Cam Seeley, especially after the incredible, dominant performance that we've seen from Seeley today. But once again, Seeley's back out there. Seeley takes the snap, runs it left side, tosses it now to Schmidt. Schmidt bounces outside the hashes and just escorts himself out of bounds after a 5-yard gain, up to the 24-yard line. Brings up second down, and they mark it second down and 4, so they gave him an extra yard there. And so second down and 4 is now where they will have it. 7:07 remaining here in the fourth quarter of the Class D1 state championship game. Sandy Creek comes out of the huddle, and they're in shotgun formation. Schmidt off to his right hip, trending towards the south end zone here at Memorial Stadium. Seeley, with his hands just above his waist, claps him, takes the snap, tosses right side. Same play, just flip-flopped. Here's Schmidt. He goes down without a fight, and that's near the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it as a first down. He was 2 yards past the line of gain, and so he got 6 when he only needed 4, and Caden Schmidt gets Sandy Creek another set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Sandy Creek. The Cougars offense has been chugging all day, firing on all cylinders. 1st and 10 coming up for the Cougars. 6:16 to play as Sandy Creek knows they're moments away from capturing their second straight D1 title. This one probably a little bit more relaxing in the later stages for head coach Andrew Kuda. Now here's Seeley. Keeps it himself. He slides shy of that first down marker, and he will be down about 3 yards, maybe 2 yards short of that first down line to gain. Gain of 8 on the quarterback scramble makes it 2nd down and 2. 5 minutes, 41 seconds to play in the ball game. It is 66-26. If you're just now joining us, Nick Sainert with you from Memorial Stadium. Stay with us as we will send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios in between the two matchups. And the team back there will take you through up until kickoff of our next game, Class D2 action between Wynot and St. Mary's. That one we expect a little bit of a closer game. But to be fair, we also expected this one to be a little bit of a closer affair. Another quarterback keeper, another baseball slide for Cam Seeley as he gets across the first down line to gain, and it's now with 5:01 to play in the fourth quarter. Still 66-26. Ball is going to be placed on the Crofton 37-yard line. The NSAA enrollment for Sandy Creek, 100 on the dot. 100 kids attend Sandy Creek High School. About an hour and a half away from where we are currently sitting, Memorial Stadium. Seeley in the shotgun. They'll motion a man from right to left. Jet toss to the receiver. This is number 13, Wyatt Hemberger. Hemberger is able to trot his way out of bounds after a gain of a couple with 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining now. 2nd down and 9 after the gain of 1. Put it at the 36-yard line of Crofton for the Sandy Creek offense. You look around Memorial Stadium, a lot of conversation about whether or not they should play the games here. It will be interesting as in a couple of years when this does transition to a grass surface. I mean, there's still Nebraska football going on. There's still Nebraska football to be played, and I'll be interested to see how they go about that. Maybe they can make it work as Seeley keeps it and immediately gets sacked. A nice job by number 57 of the Crofton Warriors defense. There's Trey Tramp again. Second time we've called his name in conversation of a sack. But once again, as I was saying, with 3:28 to play in the fourth quarter, and it's now 3rd and 13, it'll be interesting to see and have the conversation in the next couple of years as Nebraska does transition to grass of whether or not these state championship games will be able to be had on the grass playing surface. Turf, obviously, the durability of it is a lot better. You don't have to worry about it getting torn up a ton. Nebraska obviously has their regular season and home finale this Friday. So we'll see what happens with that. But, I mean, there's other viable options, not necessarily that are, cathedrals of college football, if you will. As we have a timeout on the field, we'll go ahead and keep it right here. But once again, just the conversation of, UNK hosts the D6 state championship game. That was played last Friday night. You can also have, obviously, Able Field, the home of Nebraska Westland, as a potential option. You have Seacrest Field. The only other thing with that, though, is for groups and businesses like ourselves, you have to make sure you have enough broadcast space for some of these smaller teams that do bring broadcast crews from their cities. And so there's just spatial awareness and spatial issues that you have to also have conversations about when looking at venues. But nonetheless, here for the next year or two, we're here at Memorial Stadium. It'll be 3rd down and 13 from the 40-yard line. Empty shotgun set for Cam Seeley. 2:58 to play in the 4th. Sandy Creek out in front very comfortably by 40. Here's Seeley on the quarterback keeper. He needs 13 yards. He lunges forward. He gets 13, make it 16. All the way inside the 25-yard line. Cam Seeley puts the icing on the cake with that first down. And once again, Cam Seeley is going to check out of the game after that final first down, and Seeley heads to the sideline. So an unbelievable day for Cam Seeley. The quarterback, the sophomore, has led Sandy Creek to what will be their 2nd straight state championship. They lead it 66-26. 2:14 to play. The toss, right side. Here's number 5, Wyatt Livgren. He cuts backfield, and he stays in bounds, gives himself up inside the 15-yard line at the 14.5. It's a gain of 9. We are inside 2 minutes to go. The Sandy Creek section on the east side of the stadium starts to rise to their feet, and they start to make their voices just a little bit louder as they've had a lot to celebrate here this morning and afternoon as Sandy Creek's been dominant. They led at the half 53-14. Crofton has been able to get a little bit more of a ground game established here in the second half thanks to their workhorse, Tyson Jackson, but hasn't been enough to overcome that massive deficit that they faced at halftime. 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining as we have a timeout, or rather a penalty flag on the field. We'll see what head referee Jeff Merrill has to say about it in just a moment. On the clock, 1:16 is showing. 66-26. Jeff Merrill having the conversation with his other referees, and it's going to be an illegal substitution against the Crofton Warriors. So that Crofton rushed what they thought was an 8th defender on the field, but they actually rushed one too many. And so now after that penalty, it is going to be, I believe, 1st and goal. It will be 1st and goal from the 7. 1st and goal from the 7. Cam Seeley is back into the game for Sandy Creek, as he will just be able to kneel this one down. That's why they put him back into the game. They won't try to score. Sandy Creek in the best formation of all of football, victory formation here with 1:01 and now less than a minute to go in the ball game. Sandy Creek will win their 2nd straight D1 title as they win it 66-26. They're letting the play clock trickle all the way down. And before they set up, now they set up under center. Seeley will get the snap from his center, number 55, Christian Shaw. He kneels it down, and that will be it. They start to shake hands. They start to hug on that Sandy Creek sideline as the entire Cougar contingent rises to their feet. They shook hands with the opponents on the other side of the field. Now Sandy Creek begins to hug themselves as Sandy Creek comes in the first state championship game of 2025 here at Memorial Stadium, and they dominate 66-26 as the clock dwindles down 1 second. It shows triple zeros, and it's official. Sandy Creek is your 2025 D1 state champions with a convincing 66-26 victory over the Crofton Warriors. For the 2nd straight time, Sandy Creek wins it here in Memorial, this time in a little bit less of nail-biting fashion than in comparison to 2024, where they beat Stanton 44-42. They win convincingly 66-26 here on Monday morning. That'll do it for us from Memorial Stadium. We'll step aside, send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios, where Jake Bachhoven, Austin Norman, DP, and the rest of the 93.7 The Ticket team will hold down the fort before Jay Foreman and I join you shortly after 2 p.m. here on 93.7 The Ticket for kickoff and coverage of Class D2 state championship action between St. Mary's and Why Not, coming up in just a few short hours on 93.7 The Ticket. But for now, let's send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios, 1040 O Street, the mothership with Bach, DP, Austin, and the team here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere.